Hi yogis, Nin from Nin Yoga here. Today we are going to be focusing on opening up the heart and stimulating the heart chakra, which is responsible for love, forgiveness and empathy. So get into something comfy, come down onto the mat and let's begin. Okay, the first pose we're going to do is our child's pose. So, if you like, come into extended child's pose where you're bringing your knees out to the side of the mat and then walk your palms forward and just bring your head down to the mat. Have your toes touching, your tailbone tilted back towards the floor, stretching through your spine. And just stretch out here, stretching out with your palms. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up into a sort of tabletop variation with our toes still together and then push back into extended child's pose. I'm going to do a few wave-like movements like that again. It's just flowing through just to get your spine warmed up, the body, muscles. Inhale and exhale. And then come into a full tabletop pose. So have your knees under your hips and your feet facing the back of the room. Palms under your shoulders. And just look down at your navel, just check you've got your spine straight. And we'll just pause here in tabletop pose. Take a breath, and then we're going to walk forward into a pose called puppy pose and do our first chest opening stretch. So come down onto the mat with your forehead and just stretch out with your palms here, and this might be enough, option one. Make sure, of course, that your booty's still facing and pushing up to the ceiling. And then this might be enough, but if you want to take it further, bring your palms together and bring them over the head towards the neck as we take a puppy pose variation. And you should feel a stretch through your chest, through your pecs, and just push down towards the floor. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Put your palms down on the mat and come back up into a tabletop pose. Just take a moment here, and then what I'd like you to do is walk forward so that your belly, chin and chest come down to the mat. And what we'll do is come up into a Sphinx pose. This is quite a centering pose. And again, we're just opening our chest towards the front, pushing your shoulders away from the ears. And here again, we're opening up the heart, stretching out the chest. And you should be in a sort of zip throughout your whole body. Just imagine a zip's going up, or it needs to go up. Just take a breath here before we push up into an upward facing dog, and then we'll go into downward facing dog. So bring your heels down to the mat, and it doesn't matter how close your heels can get to the mat. Just make sure you're stretching out your calves, bringing your sternum towards your thighs if you can, and just pressing down through the palms. Downward facing dog. From here, I'd like you to hop or walk maybe to the front of your mat and come down into Uttanasana. Forward, standing forward fold. So here, bend your knees if you need to and feel that lovely stretch through the spine. Just maybe doing a figure of 8 with your hips. Maybe just getting yourself used to this. And then what we're going to do is put our palms together and bring our thumb to our chakra, to our third eye, and just massaging this area where the brow often furrows, where you often feel or express confusion or puzzlement. Just massage that out in a bit of self-care today. And just let go of all those worrying thoughts or confusing thoughts and just give this gift to yourself. Exhale, palms down to the mat. You're going to come into a halfway lift now, hands on the shins. Keep your back straight here and center yourself, and exhale. As we'll come into a low lunge, step back with your left foot, bring your left knee to the mat, untuck the toes, and then with your right knee, you should have a 90-degree angle. And you should come into a low lunge. So here again, make sure the knee is stacked on the ankle and interlace the hands behind you. Bring your shoulder blades towards each other and press down through the hips, but make sure always that your knee isn't going to come in front of your ankle. So just press your shoulder blades together, open up your heart, and maybe look to a point up diagonally towards the ceiling. Good. From here, putting the palms down beside your right foot, tuck the left foot under and bring your right leg back to meet your left, and we'll come into a downward facing dog and just pedal here, letting the blood move, get things moving around. And from here we're going to do the same low lunge on the opposite leg. So bring your left foot to the front of the mat, bend your left knee, and bring your right leg down to the mat this time. And just make sure you've got the right angle here. Press down through your hips, lift your torso up and interlace the fingers. And again, open your heart. Maybe interlace your fingers with the way that feels a bit odd to you so you can get some balance and symmetry. And just look up to a point in front of you. Good. Stretching out. Excellent. And then from here, just tucking the right foot under. Bring the left leg back to meet the right. Into a downward facing dog, pushing back towards the back of the mat, and then hop or jump to the front of your mat and do a forward fold here. We're not going to stay long in this pose, so just press down through the heels, make sure you've got your balance. Inhale, coming up to halfway lift, back straight, looking out in front of you. Exhale down to the mat and slowly come up into Tadasana, mountain pose, slowly and with control. And just standing up. Just reaching out, stretching out with your chest, bringing your shoulder blades towards each other. Stand straight. Engage your thighs. Maybe lift your chin up. I'm tucking mine in. Just stand there. And from here, take an inhale, tucking the tailbone in, engaging the pelvis. Bring your hands out in front of you and we'll come into a chair pose. So your knees should be tucked in and so should your tailbone. Again, you should be sort of lifting up with your pelvis and abdomen so they're tucking in and active. and your palms should be out and your fingers should be spread. And if you want to check if you're in this position correctly, just slightly lift up your toes and press into your heels just to get that balance. And then from here, we're going to come into a warrior one. So we'll bring our palms down to the mat and step back, firstly with our left foot, getting our right foot at a right angle. And you might want to spin your left foot around a bit there so you get some balance. And then we're going to come up into a warrior one. So just press down through the hips, bring your shoulders back, shoulder blades back, should I say. And then we should stand in warrior one. And then we're going to come over into a warrior two. Briefly stay here. So just again, bring your shoulder blades almost to meet each other like this, and then raise your hands, your palms up to the sky. And then look out over your right shoulder. Maybe turn your left palm facing down. And then from here, interlace the hands behind you, stretch out with your chest again, open up your heart, and then come forward with your torso over your right thigh as we take a humble warrior pose. Beautiful. Pressing down, feeling that nice stretch through your right thigh. And then we're going to come and bringing our palms next to our right foot. Take a step back into a downward facing dog. And then come into plank pose, keeping your spine straight, and take your vinyasa. Down to the mat, and then pushing up, keeping your shoulders coming away from your ears, pressing down through the thighs. And then from here, we're going to come back up into a downward facing dog. So bring your booty back towards your heels, tuck the toes under. Come up into a downward facing dog very briefly, stretch through your calves, make sure your sternum's coming towards the back of the mat. And then we're going to step forward this time with our left foot into a warrior one. Pressing down with the palms, then pivot your right foot so that it's facing somewhat out and can support you. Bend your left knee at a 90-degree angle, then bringing your palms up to the sky, let them face one another, and bring your shoulder blades towards each other and shoulders away from the ears. And just make sure you've got this nice posture here, and that center and grounding. Feeling yourself press through the hips, feels really good. And then from here, I'm just going to step slightly to the side of my mat so that I have enough room. From warrior one here, I want you to bring your palms parallel to the mat and just twist your torso around to the longer side of your mat. And here we're going to stay in warrior two and just do a bit of a check with ourselves before we do humble warrior. So again, what I'd like you to do is to open your chest as much as possible, almost bringing your elbows so that they're trying to touch each other. And then keep that posture and bring your palms up. And then place them so they're facing the ground, and maybe you can even face your left palm up and look over your left shoulder here, and just press down into a warrior two before interlacing the fingers behind you, taking an inhale, stretching out the chest, and then bringing the torso forward over your left thigh, and bring your hands up to the sky into our humble warrior again. Inhale, Okay, good. So from here, bringing your palms to either side of your left foot and then step back into a downward facing dog here. Bringing your sternum back to the mat, back to the short side of your mat. Inhale, and we're going to take a vinyasa. So come into plank, bend the elbows, stomach, chin, chest, untucking the toes and push up into cobra. So opening the chest, opening the heart. Taking your seat back towards the short side of your mat, towards your ankles, tucking the toes under, and back into down facing dog. Let the blood go to your head here for a second, don't rush it. And now, just taking a breath, inhale, exhale, beautiful. Okay, we're going to step forward with our right foot and take our left knee down to the mat, untucking our left toe. And we're going to come into a crescent lunge. So pushing down, making sure that your knee is correctly aligned, pressing down through your hips, lifting your palms up to the sky. This time, I'd like you to tilt your head back and open up your chest, bending the spine backwards. Just take this heart opening pose here. Pressing down through your hips still. Feel that lovely stretch and balance. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the palms down beside your right foot. And then tucking your left toes into the mat. And then just coming up into a pyramid pose. So by this, what you might need to do is pivot your left foot around to support you, or you might be able to keep it facing the front. And just straighten up your right leg and bring your forehead down towards your right knee, pyramid pose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to take that onto the other side now. So palms either side of your right foot, and we'll step back into downward facing dog. And then what we'll do is bring our left foot in between our palms and then bend our right knee, keeping our left knee at a 90-degree angle and keeping our right knee just down onto the mat. Supporting us there, just get your balance, because crescent lunge is quite a more in-depth, deeper pose. So it really is important we've got the base there before we go into anything more extensive or involved. So bring the palms up to the sky, let them face each other, and bend your back slightly, opening up your chest. Crescent lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Bringing the palms to the side of your left foot, tucking your right foot under. And then, as we did before, maybe just get your balance there with your right foot. And then straighten out your left leg. You might be able to bring your right foot so that it's facing the front of the mat. And bring your forehead down towards your left knee. Pyramid pose on the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And from here, we're going to take our palms to either side of our left foot and step back into downward facing dog. And then we're going to take a vinyasa, but just push your chest back. Make sure you're balanced in downward facing dog. We come into plank, straighten the spine, engage the navel, bend the elbows, bringing your pelvis, stomach, chest down to the mat, and push up into baby cobra. Oh, baby cobra. Or you could push up into cobra. Either one's good. tucking the toes under, bringing your booty back to your heels, stretching out. And then what we're going to do here is come into tabletop and take a few cat-cow breaths. So untuck your toes. Inhale, arching the spine, tucking the tailbone in. Exhale, arching the spine down towards the mat, lifting, opening up your chest, making sure that's the most exercised part. And then we're going to come into hero pose. Okay. So a hero pose is you're just seated on the mat onto your feet. You might want to move a bit forward. And then what I like to do is, if it's available, is walk back with your hands and just open the chest. And then might be able to lift your pelvis off the mat and just lift your heart up to the sky. Even exercising your quads. Bringing your seat down to your heels again. And then what we're going to do is bring our feet out in front of us. And then bring our palms behind us. And just make sure that we're stable here. That's good. And then what we're going to do is slowly, making sure your palms, again as I say, make sure they're pressing down, is bring your pelvis up. And then just tilt your head back into a pose we call reverse plank. Exhale, bring booty down to the mat. Okay, and now what we're going to do, we're going to bend our right knee and bring our right foot so that it's almost parallel or next to your right hip. And from here, we're just going to lift up our left leg slightly and bend our left knee. If you want to take this a little bit further, and straighten out our left leg. And then open up the heart. And open up the chest. So you feel that nice stretch along the side of your hamstrings. But it should really be stretching into the hips, I suppose. And also opening your chest, bring your shoulder blades together. Try, if you can, bring your left shoulder back and then bend your left knee, bringing it down to the mat, and then just bringing your feet out in front of you and let them go from side to side before we come on to the other side. So again here, bending your left knee, bringing your left foot so that it's next to your left hip, and then if you can, bring your right foot off the ground, and this might be as far as you can go, and that's absolutely fine. Or you can bring your left palm to meet your right foot and straighten out your right leg and open up your chest. And hopefully you have a little bit more room than I do, because I've got a little door just blocking me, but I'm still going to try and stretch out my chest here. And making sure that I don't slump forward with my right shoulder. Open up the chest. And again, you should feel this lovely stretch down through your obliques and up through your hamstrings. It's a nice twist, which is good for the lymph nodes as well. Okay, bringing your right palm down to the mat, bending your right leg. Bring your knees out in front of you. And we're going to bring our feet out and let them drop out to the side, slowly coming down to the mat vertebra by vertebra. And just lie down and open yourself up to the ceiling. Opening up your palms. Just letting yourself rest here. Breathing in and out. And put your hand on your heart and the other hand on your stomach. And just think of something that's made you feel grateful the last day or so. It could be even your favourite TV show. It could be that you heard from a long lost friend. It could be that a family member called you up. Or it could be just a feeling of security within yourself. And one thing that you're grateful for. And just curling your mouth up slightly so that you've almost got a smile on your face. And think of one thing that you have, a positive attribute about yourself. And just stay with that thought. And why people want to be around you because of it. Breathing in deeper, feeling the oxygen go through your brow, unclench your jaw, feeling it go down to your throat and to your heart, through your chest, down to your abdomen and your solar plexus. And breathe into those areas. They're all the areas that we might feel emotions. And taking a final inhale and exhale, begin to roll your feet. Bring your hands down to the mat, rolling your wrists around. And then bringing your knees towards your chest. And then just do a few circles one way. And maybe the other way. Bringing the feet down to the mat. Bringing your knees to the side, and then roll over to the side and slowly push yourself up into a seated easy pose where we began. Lift the shoulders up, straighten your spine, open your chest. Opening your chest one final time, maybe bringing the arms back. Bringing your palms together above you. Bringing your thumb down to your third eye, and we bow and we say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for that practice. I hope you really feel full of love for yourself and you feel more relaxed for the day coming up and willing to give love as well. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up or offer any comments of other things you'd like to see. I hope to see you soon and have a great day. Namaste.